It's a showdown in the Big East.
Zips baseline. The reverse layup goes as he hits the deck.
That was a wild shot for his first field goal. Tough reverse layup.
As the 4th-ranked Connecticut Huskies travel to Milwaukee to take on the Marquette Golden Eagles.
UConn and Marquette. Coverage starts Saturday morning at 10:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Stand by. On my mark.
You survived the workday. Now survive the truth.
Don't you want to have the best 12 teams in college football playing each other?
It's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle.
I love it. You're coming through. You got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day. I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. It's Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the top. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even try, you can't stop. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share. Right now.
We are live and local right here on Tuesday, right here in the Panhandle, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your spot for all things college basketball. Don't forget tonight, Florida, Mississippi State, coverage coming up at 6:30 right after the show. Want to give a shout out to my man, Little Cash, for my new intro. It's great, and we appreciate him, a local artist right here in Panama City Beach, and we're going to have him come in, and you never thought you'd be in a rap music intro, did you, Jeffrey?
No, I did not.
But now you are. So good to have you. It
was on my bucket list, I guess.
That's right, and it is in there. Bone Crusher, he reached out and said something about you, too. So
I'm thinking rap video next.
Hey.
I could do that.
I think you're onto something.
Keep your clothes on. But you know what he said?
What'd he say?
He said, I'm going to get it popping.
That's right. And he said this show is as hot as...
oh, no. You're no rapper.
We're going.
But
either way,
have your wife verify anything about you in that rap
wasabi.
song.
Is it wasabi? We're hotter than wasabi.
Wasabi.
That's right.
You need some water.
That's right. We got to get some of that water in here. Maybe that'll be our next sponsor, Dasani Water, right here in the studio. So either way, thanks to Little Cash for that. We appreciate it. And so either way, we got to talk about some stuff. I'm excited about all of the things that's going on. We got to talk about it. We didn't talk about it yesterday. Just wanted to kind of get my bearings about it. They got a new list that they're coming out with. They said they're going to meet as much as stuff going on in the world today. There's still a lot of stuff that we've got to talk about concerning college football. And when you look at how President Trump has tried to get involved in this, there is a new, you're shaking your head already. They're bringing out a new deal where they're going to have Coach Saban, Coach Urban Meyer, even Tiger Woods is going to be a part of it. ESPN is going to be a part of it. Fox is going to be a part of it. The NCAA is going to be a part of it. A lot of people are saying they're aggravated because there's no current players, in which, we can talk about this. I want to talk about it. I'll give some of the other names. The NBA commissioner, Adam Silver's a part of it. Some billionaires. Like I said, the NCAA president, Charles Baker. Executives from ESPN and Fox, Mac Brown, Tim Tebow, Charlie Ward, the university presidents from Tennessee, Kansas, Nebraska, Condoleezza Rice, vice chairs Ron DeSantis, Randy Levine of the New York Yankees, You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people as well as President Trump. So you're talking all of these people trying to figure out how to get their hands around this thing called college football that we talk about all the time. So you're sitting over there shaking your head, but realistically, we got to figure something out. And I mean, these are powerful people in the sports world. So somebody's got to at least try to do something. So I'm all for it. I'm saying, yes, let's get together. Let's figure out how we can get this going, because do you want to see college football impacted or college sports impacted every single year where they're going to court and they're having to fight for who's going to get their 12th year of eligibility? Like, what realistically are we going to do? You shake your head and you say, I don't care. Well, sitting and doing nothing is going to get what we have right now, which is nothing, and just the wild, wild west of college football. So I think we need something to get done. Whether these people can get it done or not, at least they're trying to get something done. Now go.
You really want me to get it popping, don't you?
I do. I want to know what you think.
I'm going to pop all these people right in their head for even thinking that they should be involved in this whole situation. Ron DeSantis, I'm sorry. You know, you can play your politics. You can go with a party or whatever you want to do. You could be all about the guy. He has nothing to do with college sports altogether. It's not just football. Okay. Condoleezza Rice, come on, man. Really? Did she play volleyball in college?
She was the first person she was one of the first people in the college football playoff committee.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't deserved. I'm going to pop all these people in the head. They need to get the heck out.
I'm coming back with Ron DeSantis. You got Florida in his state. You got UCF in his state. You got Miami in his state.
He's 1 in 50. Okay, he's 1 in 50. I got it. 1 in 50. Condoleezza Rice, really? Come on, man.
Ron DeSantis is a part of. He's got all these colleges.
Where did he play college? Because he didn't play any sports in college.
Well,
he played intramural flag football with his fraternity brothers. That's probably what he did.
So you have to play college sport. You have to play college sports to say anything about college. That's absurd.
You played college sports?
I did, but
you are certified by me to be on this committee. Well, Paul Wilson for the committee.
Okay, I'll accept the nomination and I'll go and be a part. I want to help. I want to help.
You should help.
So what about the others?
You have to give me the whole list, and I'll be like, no. And these university presidents and everything, well, they're going to show it one-sided, from the university side, and that's not good. Just like you were saying, where's the players? Well, that's the other side. There's so many different angles you can come from. You can come from ESPN side, and television, or radio. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, but these people have to have more insight than this. This is not a legitimate list.
You don't think so?
You got to do better than this.
I mean, you got...
And are they going to do all the sports or just football and basketball, the ones that make money?
I think they're just going to talk about something to get some type of fix that they got these business leaders. Just because you didn't play sports doesn't mean you can't come up with a great idea.
Oh, I have great ideas. I do have great ideas, but I just don't think that these people are qualified. They're not on the inside. They don't know what's going on, really. You don't get the true picture until you're in it. You can have as much empathy as you want, but these people don't have that.
You don't think the business leaders need to be involved in making decisions to help?
Okay. Money's going to run it all, because I should expect that.
Well, that's how it's run now.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you think about...
Not really.
You're talking about the players... maybe they say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have some type of players union or some kind of players collective where they could have some kind of player side person come in and be a part of it. It's a definite thing that needs to happen, because there's got to be a fix. I didn't love how it was last year. I mean, you had all these quarterbacks. We still got a quarterback trying to get another year of eligibility that's going to sue the NCAA. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a problem.
Keep it out of the courts.
They should have had, but there's no way to do that because you don't have anything set forward.
Well, no,
there is nothing.
Everybody who goes to college, doesn't matter what level of college, you have them sign a paper that says you are with the NCAA. You will never sue the NCAA. You have 6 years of eligibility from finishing high school and entering college, if that happens at the same time.
But if you do realize that they could use that and say, well, we were manipulated. We were bullied by our coaches. We were told that we couldn't get money. We were told that if we signed this paper that, if we didn't sign this paper that we'd lose our scholarship. There's just so much litigation that could get involved in this. So yes, the higher people in government. So you got business owners, you got people that are involved in the, the businesses of these universities. You've got professional athletes who have a side to this. Maybe they're not in college right now. You've got the government officials. You've got billionaires. You've got people with money that are smart, that have, the means by which to come up with stuff. Then you've got Tiger Woods, if you want to go play golf while you're hanging out.
He did play golf. He did play golf at Stanford.
Yeah. So
he's got creds. He's got creds.
So he's credited.
Yeah, he's credited.
I mean, but I just think that we've got to figure out something, and doing something is better than doing nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if this gets us to the end result, then okay. But if we continue to just keep going in circles, then okay. But we're always going to be talking about eligibility, NIL money. I mean, because we're going to end up with a group of teams, because if you look at the way Indiana won it, that's not legitimate. It's not going to work. That's not going to be the new model. Because you're going to have, like next year, you got Texas spending $40 million on a program. You're going to have unlimited monies coming into the universities that are the biggest, and it's just going to be, we're going to be able to pay all of our players $1 million that are starters, and then before you know it, it's going to be what we used to have, which is only a select few invited to the party. Everybody else is just down here hanging out. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to work. So yes, it can work in basketball because you only have 5 people that can be on the court at the time, but football will always be the way that it is or was, and you're going to always dominate with the people that spend the most money. Now, this year was the team that didn't, but they had the most transfers.
Yeah.
So not every year you're going to be able to strike gold with your transfers. They're not going to be able to, make it or whatever. But as well as I do, Indiana was one quarterback injury away from not being anything again.
That's how Georgia was last year.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So with that being said, we've got to come up with something. Something's got to be on the precipice that can help us get to that place where there's not going to be the Wild Wild West suing everybody. And I'm sorry, I love you, but a little piece of paper we're signing saying I'm going to be 6 years, that's not going to work. It's not going to hold up in court. Those little agreements, and I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but just like when you sign a waiver, do you realize that waivers are not admissible in court? And waivers can't get you out of being sued. So a piece of paper is nothing more than just a piece of paper with ink on it when it comes to the court systems.
Well, that's a shame.
It is, though. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's just part of the life that we live in. And but I don't want to see the courts involved in college sports. Like, I want to see some kind of regulation, some kind of regulatory body, whether it's a 1-person committee, a 15-person committee. I don't think it should be, but a committee of some sort that can handle to set out the rules so that because will you agree with me on this? There's always going to be people that are going to break the rules. No matter if you've got them written in stone or not, they're going to break the rules, especially
or change the rules.
Yeah. They're going to manipulate. They're going to try to break them. Yeah. They're going to cheat. They're going to anything to get an advantage. That's what they're going to do. So I mean, that's going to happen.
Oh, you're talking about Alabama basketball? Yeah.
I mean, Alabama,
they broke
LSU.
the rules.
They didn't break. There wasn't a rule broken.
No. You cannot go from professional back to.
If there had been a rule broken, then there would have been a punishment.
There should be a punishment.
But there's not.
Yeah, no, there is.
I don't agree.
We're not done.
I don't agree.
Go to the future, and there should be
I don't agree with what Alabama did with basketball, but I'm telling you.
Wait till the tournament bracket comes out. There's your punishment.
They're going to put us in the punishment in the worst.
Yeah.
The worst one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could be.
Duke's the 1 seed. Who's the 2 seed? UConn? I don't know.
No, Michigan.
Iowa State's a 3 seed, and y'all get a 4.
No, Arizona.
Y'all get a 4.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying we need to do something with this current system that we have set up. So, but we're going to go ahead and go to the Red 17's phone line. We got Mike on the line. Mike, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Paul. But you know what makes me upset about this whole situation is why they start this whole darn thing to begin with, and why are they so, excuse my language, whiskey Van hellbound on paying players because I don't think players, college football players, should get paid for playing football.
Well, what they did was, Mike, is they have a deal with the NIL, which is name, image, and likeness. And the problem is that they've went to it, and it's went to court with the O'Bannon brothers from UCLA back in the day, and they were on a I guess it was a Nintendo game or some type of basketball game, and that's where they went through court, and this is how we've gotten to here because the universities for years and years and years have been using the name, image, and likeness, and with that being said, they're able to pay them now because of that. So there's really no way we're going to go backwards in that, but that's how it is.
I tell you what, I wish this whole NIL business never got started. I don't like the NIL. Look how much it ruins sports right now. Thank God baseball don't have that. We get paid nothing. Players get paid enough in baseball, let alone college football. The NIL is not right for sports. I don't care what you have to say. I mean, I care in a way, but I don't like it.
Yeah, well,
NIL.
I mean, the thing is that
Do you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I think they should get something if the university is going to make hand over foot every year off of the, name, image, and likeness. If it's going to be name, image, and likeness, then pay them based off of that. Baseball players, basketball players, everybody's getting paid. It just depends on what sport is bringing the most money in, and those are the ones that are bringing the most money in is the football programs mostly. The basketball and baseball programs, they're making money, but they're just not making as much as the football players are.
Let me ask you another question as long as we're talking about sports. What about this Alabama situation where they did something wrong? They broke a rule or something? Is that what I'm hearing right?
Well, it's just Jeff being sour about it. They haven't broken a rule. It just they ruled against them allowing a player to play. So it's not a rule that they broke. They just basically said they couldn't bring him on anymore. So, and that was it.
Well,
Mike,
find them. Take their don't let them in a college basketball tournament. But just don't sit there. I agree with Jeff. If they broke that rule, take their tournament seat away. Don't put them in a field of 68. That's what I know about it.
we've never seen somebody go from the NBA to college sports.
No, and you know what, Jeff? There ain't going to be. They're going to finish. They're going to finish their college basketball career before they go to the NBA. And what to say if somebody drops them from the NBA side? What's to stop that particular NBA team to send them down to the G League?
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, Mike, we sure do appreciate the call. We're going to be bumped up against the break, my friend. Thank you so much, buddy.
I'm listening to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You know, and that's true. I mean, but I don't think, you know, the way they ruled it in court is that the eligibility had been exhausted. they did not go in the NCAA, and neither did anybody else go after Alabama for the player, Charles Bediako. And obviously, Coach Lane Below is here in studio at the 420 hour. We will ask him about how he feels about it and get his perspective on it as well. But when you look at it, how it works out is that Alabama, who's on a 8 or 9 game winning streak right now, they are not, They
I don't think it's that.
It ain't that long?
No, it might be like 6 or 7.
Okay. I'm sorry. 1 game off. My bad, Jeffrey.
We'll look at it.
But they're not going to take wins from them. They're going to,
which it was only 2, right? They went 2-2.
Yeah, I think they played 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
so
and they got better after he left.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But and again, let me go ahead and set the record straight. I was not for Bediako playing. I was not involved in all of that. So, that's a part of me that I did not, I didn't agree with it either. I just wanted to, bring it up that something has to be done. I'm glad they're meeting. I'm glad Trump is involving all of these sports people. I'm glad that he's involving business people. I'm glad that he's involving government people. I like the first step. This might just be the first step of many. And there may be, all of these people may fall off to the wayside to get to where we need to be with college sports. And that's all I'm saying. Whether you're right, left, center, backwards, forward, it don't matter. All I'm saying is, for the sake of the game, let us figure out something that's going to work. And because it ain't working now, something's got to happen. There's a hole in the boat, and the boat's sinking. We got to put something in to fill the hole.
Quick question, Paul. So how is this council, maybe they meet, they make some decisions, what leverage do they have to impose any kind of regulation whatsoever in college sports?
I think it's with the NCAA being at having a chair at the table. I think they can have, conversations that can allow them to move in the direction that the committee or I don't even think they're calling it a committee, just a group of people are kind of having. So I think that's where having them at the table is something to get it going in that direction.
I see them having no leverage whatsoever to make any decision. They can't bully the NCAA into doing anything in this way.
Yeah, I think they can cause the pressure of the people, because when you make a statement with all of these people, now you're talking about millions upon millions of fans and followers that all of these people have, that they're going to have some type of leverage. Not that they'll boycott the NCAA, but that they will put pressure on these ADs. They'll put pressure on these school presidents to get together with the ACC, the SEC, the Big Ten, because that's the people that really can change it.
But the colleges get federal funding.
Right. Yep. So with that being said, there could be some leverage. I hope not. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, the head basketball coach for the Gulf State Commodores, conference champion Commodores. You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Killing the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. And if you look at the best teams right now in the NBA, I would argue it's OKC, San Antonio, and Detroit. Well, Detroit's 4 best players they drafted. OKC's best players, they got Chet Holmgren from tanking. The San Antonio Spurs, it's all draft and develop. And so since Jerry West left, the Lakers don't really draft.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 74 and a wind 8 to 12 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 60. About the same tomorrow, around 75 with sunshine most of the day except slight fog at night. Slightly foggy in the morning and then some sun Thursday and very warm around 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Brandon Strickland from Recommended Collision Center, Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
At Recommended Collision Center, we're all about taking care of our community. And advertising on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has helped us do just that. Social media ads were getting stale, but the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson gave us a fresh way to reach local customers. We've seen more vehicles coming in for estimates, more phone calls, and more people recognizing our name. It's been a great partnership for our business, pairing up with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. Get your message heard and cut through the clutter. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and wide. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for 3. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dumps it with 2 hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
It's the Florida Gators and the Mississippi State Bulldogs tonight. Tip-off at 7.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
On this show, we don't hold back. We react, we dissect, and we tell it like it is. You're locked into the truth. You're locked into the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for college basketball right here in the Panhandle. Don't forget tonight, Florida versus Mississippi State. Coverage starts at 6:30 right after the show. Don't want to miss it. I'm going to stretch out on a limb here and say Florida's going to win that one. So, yeah, you can take me to the bank on that one, beat Mississippi State. I don't think that's a big-time deal because the Florida Gators are rolling. But either way, so good and so glad to have Coach Blue. I've been saying, okay, so, guys, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Coach has come on a couple of times, and his name is spelled B-E-L-O-W, right, Coach?
Yep.
And that's not how, but it's not below.
Nope. You can say whatever you want, but it is blue.
It's blue, like the color. So I've been mispronouncing it this whole time, and Coach, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Is it European or something? What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm a redneck.
But so good to have you here. Jeffrey, did you want to share something real quick?
Alabama is on an 8-game win streak.
And who said that?
I did. No. I just said it just now.
You just said it, but who said it before the break?
You said there were 8 or 9 game win streak, and you were correct.
And you said, and what'd you say?
I thought it was like 6 or 7. I knew they were on a streak, but I just didn't know it was that long. And I mean, because the other day I looked up and I was like, oh wow, look at all these teams that are on a big win streak. And Virginia before Saturday, before getting completely destroyed by Duke, was on a 9-game win streak.
Yeah.
And it got crushed.
Yeah.
Now, Auburn, on the other hand, has lost 7 of the last 8, I believe is what the number is. And Bruce Pearl, who's not even coaching any longer, right?
Yeah.
Said that Miami of Ohio shouldn't be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Auburn should be.
Yeah, Auburn should be. Yeah, yeah. No, he didn't say that. But he said that Miami of Ohio is not one of the 68 best teams in the nation. And I'm like, why don't you just focus on your son losing so much?
Oh,
what?
Just a little bit easy. We are an affiliate. Just so you know.
We are an affiliate, yeah, but they need to start winning. I mean, we're going to root for the opponent? I mean, what are we doing?
We're not. We're not rooting for anybody, but I'll tell you who we are rooting for. Gulf Coast State Commodores, who have secured the conference title. Coach, congratulations. I'm so glad you're here.
Appreciate it.
First time since 1998.
Whoa. Yeah, 98, 99 season, so.
Yeah, so big deal. Man, just let's talk about it a little bit. Had the 3-game losing streak, had to come away with 2 victories in the end, and your team did that. Talk about that team.
Well, it was a bad feeling when we were 5-2, and then we did have a little skid and lost a couple in a row. But, we lost a tough one at Tally to go to 5-5, and then basically back to the wall, got to win 2 games. And so all the guys knew what time it was, and luckily they bowed their back, and we beat Northwest at home and got a good win. And then Saturday was ugly at Pensacola. Like, we didn't play great, but killed them on the glass and found a way to win the game. It wasn't pretty, but we did win the game. We were down 5 with like 4 to play, so we were struggling and then pulled it out, luckily.
What did you hate the most about the Pensacola game? Was it the shooting, or it wasn't the hustle?
Yeah, the game, we shot, I think, 30% for the game. We couldn't make a layup. We were missing open shots. Like, we just couldn't find any rhythm. I thought we were, I don't know, maybe a little mentally taxed from Wednesday's game was emotional high, but Pensacola's played everybody tough for the most part. Their record doesn't really reflect how competitive they've been in the league. So I'm just glad we won.
Yeah, no kidding. Where do we go from here? What's the next step? How does this work? Fill us in on that.
Yeah, tomorrow's the seed meeting. So I think 5 of the 8 teams in the tournament are going to be top 25 in the country, possibly 6. So the seeding will come out tomorrow in the morning, or it'll come out tomorrow afternoon. They're doing the seeding in the morning. And so we'll know where we play or who we play, what time, et cetera. We'll play next Wednesday on March 11th. So not this week, obviously, but next Wednesday. So just trying to get the guys recouped, and then it would take 3 games to win the region title. And then they usually take 2 at-large teams from Florida at least. And so the winner goes automatically, and then usually 2. They could do more, but usually 2 will go for sure. So I think we're in that mix for sure, but I'd like to go over there and just win 3 games.
Yeah, so that's what it is. And this is over in Pensacola?
This will be at Northwest Florida in Niceville.
So Niceville. Okay, yep. So over there, so you definitely have 3 games no matter your seeding. Is that how that works?
Well, win or go home.
Okay, so as far as
it'll take 3 to win.
You got to have 3 to go, to the next level. So that's good. As far as injuries go, do you have any? I know that the game the week before when you were playing Chipola, Trent was battling some. I don't know if it was just some finger. Every time he went to the rack, there was always some kind of finger shaker. Is he battling an injury with his finger right now? Because I know the other night there was a couple of times he had hit the floor. He kind of got up and winced a little bit with pain. Has he got some injuries that this is a good time for him to get some rest?
Yeah, a couple guys knick-knack, things like that. Iron Francis got a groin he's been dealing with, and so we took Sunday completely off, yesterday completely off, and then today basically weights, film, and back to skill work, kind of just easing them back in. And so, we had basically 10 days before he'd play again, and it's been a long season, man. We got here June 16th. Wow. We worked out all summer. We had about 100 practices. We played 30 games. We've traveled all over and played, and so it's mentally and physically been taxing. So I wanted everybody to kind of get refreshed and reset. Hopefully we'll get some good news tomorrow with our seed and kind of have some juice rolling forward for the next couple of days.
So you said something that kind of perked me up a little bit. And the reason is we've got Chicago Bull champion coming on at 5 o'clock, Jason Caffey, and obviously he's going to talk some Michael Jordan stories. You said y'all hit the weights during the season. Is that something that has always been? Because when I played college ball, we worked out early before the season. We didn't really lift weights during the season, in which I know Jordan was a big deal with doing that. Is that something that has kind of caught on since then, do you think?
I mean, I don't want to sound super young, but I haven't known any different, to be honest. And so,
well, you're definitely the youngest guy in this room, for sure.
So, I mean, yeah, I think, NBA guys are lifting before games, after games. They may, play a game, get done, get a 30-minute workout. So, yeah, we lift at least once, if not, we try to get 2 times a week for sure, and off-season 4 days a week. But some of it's, to get them moving around, get that lactic acid out and all that stuff as well. And so, yeah, we're still lifting. It's not, you have to change it a little bit. You're not going 9,000 reps. You're more heavier weight, lighter reps and just maintaining really your strength and stamina, et cetera.
Yeah, because you're going to be burning a lot of calories, burning a lot of stuff. And I mean, obviously you got them on nutrition as well, but that's important. It was just one of those things when you said it, I was like, that kind of goes back for me. So let me ask you this, how does it work from there? So you get the seeding, you play your games, you win, you move on, and then now where do we go?
Hopefully we can end up in Hutchinson, Kansas, which would be the national tournament. There'll be 24 teams left in the whole country. And so, whoever wins our region, Region 8, will probably be a top 8 seed at the national tournament. And if you're a top 8 seed, you only have to play 4 games as opposed to 5. And so it's like 4 games in 5 to 6 days. And so a little more doable than 5 games in 6 days or whatever it is. And so, hopefully we'll be in that mix and can get out there. And Gulf Coast actually won the region in 2020 and was going to get to go, and COVID happened, and they canceled the deal. And so Gulf Coast hasn't been since 1992, so that's been a while.
Yeah, so that's been a long time. So history making.
So in '99, when they won the conference, they did not go.
Right. Well, you have a conference, and then we go to the region.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't do good enough in the regional to go to Kansas.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's
so wait, one more. It's all Florida teams. Are any Alabama or Georgia teams in this region?
Nope. So 16 region winners will go to the national tournament. So those guys are right away. And then they'll have 8 at-large, which will usually be, like, for example, we have 3 teams in our conference that are top 10, 11 in the country. Mm-hmm. Those teams are worthy of being at the national tournament. You can't have 3 champions at the region tournament, so 2 of those probably get at-larges, and so that'll make up those 8 at-larges. Probably West Texas get 2, we'll get a couple, and then you got 24 good teams out there for a little over a week and see who takes that.
Now, where did you play college ball?
I played at Three Rivers Community College in Missouri, and then I played at Ole Miss for 2 years.
Ole Miss, there you go.
Yeah.
And so when you go into these tournaments, you're going to be playing, which in this region, you're playing against Division I talent. There's Division I talent on all the teams. Did Chipola have Division I talent? They've got kids that play it.
Everybody in the league, everybody that'll be in this tournament will have at least a couple Division I players. Some of them will have 5 or 6. There'll be, when we tip it up next Wednesday, there'll probably be 250 Division I coaches there watching.
Wow, that's fantastic. So that's really good. Let's step off a little bit, and will you please get in touch with me tomorrow when you find out your seating? I want to announce it, or even maybe we can talk or something whenever you guys are done with practice. Let me ask you this. We were talking before you came on, and I told him I was going to ask you about it. So President Trump with a bunch of people have gotten together, or going to be getting together next Friday, and talk about this whole NIL deal. And Jeffrey's not, he doesn't feel like, because Tiger Woods is going to be there, Tim Tebow is going to be there, Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, billionaires, friends of Trump. You got, a lot of influential people in the world.
Campaign supporters.
ESPN's going to be there. Fox is going to be there. The NCAA president's going to be there. Adam Silver's going to be there. All of these just leaders. Condoleezza Rice is going to be there. He doesn't like her being there, but he voted me to be there, but they didn't call. They didn't call. So
Barron Trump.
I can't. No, he's not there. He's not. So with that being said, though, I said that it's a good step in a direction. At least we're trying to do something. Do you like the current setup of NIL in college sports right now, or do you think something is needed, you being a college coach?
Yeah, I think something's needed for sure. It's but they just open it up and it's kind of wild, wild west. But it's really hard for me to say one way or another because it's really not impacting our level a ton. You know what I mean? And so I've got some players I coach that are in it and, asking for advice on different things, et cetera. Trent Lincoln, is going to be in the NIL game and a handful of our guys. But it's hard for me to say. But from a coaching standpoint, if I was in it, you can complain as much as you want, but you better just figure it out and adapt. And we're not making those decisions, if you're a coach. And so hopefully some stuff does get worked out.
Does Trent have an agent?
Yes.
Wow.
So that's how that works. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously we don't want to get, too close to the line because we don't want any, kind of legal implications. But I just wanted to know your feeling behind it. And obviously you keep winning conference championships and all that, you're going to have to deal with it eventually.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we have some things at this level that are different than NIL, but everybody's got stuff they've got to deal with at a different level. And so I think the hardest part or what most Division I coaches have said to me that is frustrating to them is like they're just like players that are getting the price driven up for themselves. Like agents are just driving it up. They'll say Arkansas State wants to recruit a guy and I'll be like, well, Coastal Carolina just offered 100. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. There's no way to fact check that. And so it's just crazy, man. I mean, a kid I coached last year here, Christian Harmon, I'm not going to talk exact dollar figures, but, we basically give our guys a basic scholarship package here, which is really good for this level. But these guys are making life-changing money. And just a year ago, they're in our deal, eating Burger King and whatnot, and now they're changing their life. But it is cool for players that maybe had a tough upbringing, et cetera, and they're able to help themselves out and maybe their family or whatever.
Yeah, and that's the other side of it. You make a great point, and I think that's where you were going. The agent side of it, he's talking about who's driving the prices up. Well, the agents are driving the price up. Why are the agents driving the price up? Because they want to get paid.
Because they're lawyers.
Right, and so that's the other side of it, too, that I think has to be taken care of because you don't want these lawyers, these people, these agents, so to speak, taking advantage of these guys and taking their money from them. That is supposed to be for them. So realistically, if we can find something to get going, that way we can do it. Coach, he's big on Duke. I'm not. What do you think about this year's, the way the tournament's going to, end up being? I love Florida. I love how they're playing right now, obviously. Alabama, I don't know if anybody from the SEC is going to really make a big deal. Arkansas just really Florida made them look so bad. I think everybody's second-guessing Arkansas, but Arkansas is actually a really good team. They got good players, and any night they could beat anybody. But who do you like right now coming into this?
I mean, Duke definitely is really good. My dad's a Duke fan and brother like Duke a lot. I actually grew up a Tar Heel fan because Tyler Hansborough was from our area, and so I went to a camp out there when I was little. I don't watch them a ton anymore, but they're good. Michigan's really good. Arizona's really good. Houston's tough as shit. I mean, they're going to be in every single game, but I definitely think those 4 or 5 teams are right there in the mix. The SEC, like Florida's obviously big enough at 3, 4, and 5 to rebound and out physical anybody, in my opinion. But I think their guard play isn't quite as good as it was. Well, I definitely know it's not as good as last year.
That's the deal. And I've talked to different ones. We had Franz Beard on, Gator Insider, wrote a book about last year's, season and everything. And that's the deal. If Florida can shoot, because as well as I do, when you get into the tournament, you got to be able to knock down those threes at times where you're down to shift the momentum, all of those things. Down in the paint, though, the defense and the rebounding, Florida's, to me, top of the scale.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to be able to get guard play out of, their guards, and they're getting better. I mean, Xavier Lee and Boogie, they're getting better. They're starting to, come alive a little bit. But it's going to be a really hard scope. So right now, if you had to pick a national champion, who would you say?
Michigan.
What? Wow. Yeah.
Wow. That'd be third on my list if I had to list them off.
Yeah.
I just think they got a little bit of everything. And sometimes I don't think the best team always wins because I actually think it's the hardest tournament to win, because there's so many, I don't know, you're playing a first round game, you're the 1 seed. the 16 team is just free balling. There's not a lot of pressure. Nobody's expecting them to win. Now, the other team's kind of on their heels a little bit, but it's hard to win that many games. And but I think Michigan's got inside presence. I think they've got shooting. I think they got good point guard play. I wouldn't be shocked if a couple of these teams won it. I just think they have as much balance as probably anybody. I think the best defensive team is probably Duke. And I think, Houston's tough. Arizona's a little mixture of all that. So I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if any of those guys won it.
Yeah, and still you can't just dismiss UConn. I know that they're kind of on the outskirts of all of these that don't really get talked about as much, but you got to look out for UConn. I think they can. But isn't it in the tournament, isn't it always like the matchup deal? Isn't that really what it kind of
so.
Because
UConn struggles to score, man. That's one thing. They won those national titles. Not only were they really good defensively, but they can score on anybody. They're struggling to score a little bit.
Yeah, they don't score a lot of points, and so that would be their kryptonite. But I agree with you a little bit, but we can't have it. I mean, gosh, if we have another Big Ten team win anything in college, we might have to. I don't know what we're going to do, but we can't do that. We can't. We got too many Big Ten champions here in the last few years, especially in football. We can't have it in basketball. We got to get rid of those guys. So somehow, some way, but
I can't remember the last time the Big Ten has won the basketball title. Michigan State, like 15 years ago or 12 years ago, something like that.
I was trying to think.
That's the only time, Izzo.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody.
Yeah, that's true. We don't need another one.
To be honest with you, it might be two in the whole century.
Yeah, we don't need another one, though. We don't need another one. Well, Coach, we're bumped up against the break. Thank you so much for being here. Let us know tomorrow what you guys are going to be put in as far as the bracket goes. And if anybody wants to go, how can they? Where's it located? At Northwest Florida's gym?
Yep. Yeah, we'll play Wednesday. Thursday's off. It'll be just girls' games on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, hopefully playing as well. So 3 days.
Do you think if you win another conference title next year, do you think the recruiters from smaller colleges might come visit? Like, I don't know, say like a Valdosta State or, I don't know, Rice or something like that?
Who knows? I definitely think this league's respected enough if coaches are doing a good job and teams are winning. It's just like low major, mid-major guys bump up to higher levels. But I like what we're doing. We've got a good thing going, and I've really enjoyed it here. And it's a fun conference. It's competitive, so I'm not pressed about anything. I like where I'm at, and I'm glad that I'm here.
Don't even insult him with Valdosta State. Mississippi State is probably going to call.
Let's just go all in.
Yeah.
Ole Miss. My daughter's in pharmacy school there.
Yeah.
And actually, believe it or not, they fell from 23rd to 26th in the pharmacy rankings, and the Tar Heels are number one in pharmacy in the nation.
Now we got to, there we go. Yeah, well.
Anyway, plug on the Tar Heels.
Yeah, the Tar Heels in pharmacy. So, Coach Blue, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, and we're going to be pulling for you guys. And when we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit more of this. And don't forget, going to be giving away a prize pack and Jason Caffey at the top of the hour. You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
To get back to Carson Beck, though, how funny would it be if in the second or third round, the Indianapolis Colts were to draft Carson Beck? Because they're looking.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
360-degree protection of your home, 365 days a year. One low monthly price.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control offers an affordable program that provides our customers with peace of mind. Brock 365.
We like bundling pest control with termite protection for a low monthly payment. We couldn't be happier with the results. Most treatments are done outside, and we haven't had any issues in over 3 years.
Call us today for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control.
When it comes to backyard dreams, trust the name that's been making waves for over 65 years. Cox Pools. Serving the entire Florida Panhandle, Cox Pools brings experience, innovation, and quality to every custom pool design. From luxurious spas to resort-style pools, no vision is too big. Make your backyard the place to be with Cox Pools. Cox Pools, 65 years strong and still making a splash. Visit coxpools.com or call 850-235-7957.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the Big East.
Zips baseline. What a shot. The reverse layup goes as he hits the deck. That was a wild shot for his first field goal. Tough reverse layup.
As the fourth-ranked Connecticut Huskies travel to Milwaukee to take on the Marquette Golden Eagles.
UConn and Marquette. Coverage starts Saturday morning at 10:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call-ins are not welcome. They're expected. Pick up the damn phone.
I'm ready to go in, Coach.
850-215-6290.
Just give me a chance.
Now back to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Just give me the damn ball.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for college basketball tonight. Florida Gators versus the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Coverage starts at 6:30. Don't forget also, we got a prize pack to give away. Lone Star Bullhouse gift card, that boot store gift card, 30 days at Anytime Fitness, and a 12-pack of your choice, and the Golden Season book by Franz Beard, the last year's Florida Gator. It's an in-depth look at that team's successful run, hoping to do a back-to-back as well. They're getting started, going to be getting started here next week as well for the SEC Championship, so you don't want to miss that. We're going to do the drawing for that, the prize pack, at 5:20 today. So after we talk to Jason Caffey, we're going to have that, and excited about doing that. So want to go over this. I know we don't have much time before the top of the hour, but Jeffrey, I don't know if you know this or not, but more problems come out today for the Atlanta Braves. And this is one of those deals. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I've always just called him Profar. But it's Jurickson Profar has been suspended for the 2026 seasons after testing positive for PEDs for the second time. Per multiple reports, Profar was suspended last year for 80 games for his violation. He was with San Diego. He was their left fielder. He signed with the Braves last year to bulk up that offensive...
Bulk up?
No pun intended. Bulk up that lineup. And last year, he was caught with the PEDs. And here he is again. Second time, Major League Baseball says, you know what? 2 times in a row, 2 seasons in a row, we're going to suspend you for the whole season. He came back at the end of last year when it didn't matter, but he's a really good player, and I just don't understand it. What do you think about it?
Well, they said 162 games, but it includes the postseason.
Yeah.
So it's not really 162.
Yeah, it's good. If the Braves make it, which I'm hoping that they do this year.
Yeah.
They didn't last year. But what do you think about it? Like, give us your idea. What do you think? I mean,
we've been on this. The late 90s is when the boom happened for steroids, performance-enhancing drugs and everything. You know, if you're told not to do something and then you go and do it, well, you're penalized. So you know how much he's missing out on? $15 million.
Wow.
That's what he just flushed right down the toilet, where he should have just flushed the drugs down the toilet.
Yeah. I can't understand why somebody would want to do that. I get it, man. Listen.
And he's 33?
You want to be at your highest level. You want to be, you want to be the best that there is. You want to do everything to get an advantage against somebody else. But doing this you've already been busted before. And so now you're doing it again. And what in the world? But do you think he's the only one that's getting caught? Do you think other people are doing it and they're just not getting caught? What's the deal?
No, I think that they know what the masking drugs are to cover up and everything. I don't think people are shaving their whole body so you can't get body hair, because that goes back further than. No, you don't know about the hair tests? The hair tests go back further, where if you do a urine test, it only goes back like a couple of months or so.
Oh, okay. So you're saying
the drug test
is on the hair follicles.
If you take hair, it can go back like a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
they can take chest hair. So you'd have to shave your head, shave your chest, and your arms and your legs.
Yeah.
Because it has to be a certain amount of length.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. So, that's the extent of what you can go back far enough to where you try and eliminate the chances of you getting caught.
Yeah, some people like steroids in baseball. I've talked to people that like it because they say we're here for the bombs. We're here to see people hit home runs. We're not here to see pitchers throwing 130 miles an hour and having 1-0 ball games.
So then you're for aluminum bats.
Well, that'd kill somebody. You imagine aluminum bat being used by a professional baseball player?
Well, you're for the Big Bang.
Yeah, but that's
you don't want it to get popping?
No. But if you look at some of these guys that are coming from college, they're hitting, these bombs off these aluminum because they're still aluminum.
Yeah.
And you got kids in college.
Yeah. That's college. Dink, dink. I love the sound of it.
But then you've got these guys that are throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And they're hitting home runs at 150 miles an hour or whatever it is. I don't know the exact number, but realistically, when you look at how that happens, do you like home runs or do you like the pitching duel?
No, I like home runs. Sure, yeah. You need action. It's probably why I'm not a soccer fan or even a hockey fan. It's not enough scoring going on.
Yeah. Well, I just for the Braves, obviously they had asked him to be a DH this year, and he was a little bit hesitant and he pushed back against it. He didn't like it. He wants to play in the field and he wanted to play left field. Yeah. And the Braves had they got rid of Ozuna or allowed him to go to free agency, and they put Profar into the lineup as the DH. And then this comes out now. So not only is he not going to get to DH, but he's not going to get to play at all. So, his temper tantrum or not really temper tantrum, but his disagreements with the team putting him in the DH spot. Now he hurts the Braves. I think the Braves had big ideas for him. I thought he was a good player.
I think he really hurts the Braves.
I do. Yeah, he was going to be a nice stick in that lineup. Now it's 2 years in a row that they're without him.
You freed up your cash now. It's not included in the salary cap.
Yeah, but he's still under contract, so you still got to do something with him if you want to let him go. He's not just because he's suspended.
Well, you're not paying him,
right? But still, you still got him.
No, you have him under contract. He signed
a multi-year contract, so he's there with them.
Yeah.
You still have, whether you cut him or I don't know how it all works with the player agreement.
But for 1 year, he does not hurt you.
Yeah, well, he hurts the lineup. He's a good player.
Well, it's like they never got him.
But he was a good player. When he did play, he actually was pretty good. So, I don't know. It's just disappointing because, you got all these ways. Why don't he just, look online with, if he's getting older and he needs some strength. Chuck Norris sells products. You got Chuck Norris, you got Frank Thomas, and what's Doug Flutie? They're selling that Neutrogenics. Just take you some Neutrogenics, Profar. You can hit some home runs with Neutrogenics instead of using steroids. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure a way for him to get on the field, but it's not going to work because he's kicked out for this year.
Are you getting tired of your team's cheating? Oh, Alabama, now the Braves.
Oh my gosh. You really have to bring that up.
Yeah, well.
I'm glad we were going to a break. But when we come back, we've got Chicago Bull, two-time NBA champion Jason Caffey going to be on the show. We can't wait for it. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
out and smash someone? Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Rich Eisen Show.
Jeremiah Love. I like to get in your face and talk a little bit, especially if it's USC.
Okay.
Yeah, flip a switch. Turn into a different person.
Okay. No kidding.
Gotta have a little bit of craziness. Just a little bit.
Why do you say that?
Because who wants to be hit and hit people for a living, you know?
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 11 to 2. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 74 and a wind 8 to 12 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 60. About the same tomorrow, around 75 with sunshine most of the day except slight fog at night. Slightly foggy in the morning and then some sun Thursday and very warm around 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Coin and Bullion Reserves is now Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry, a new name that reflects what we do best, fine jewelry and diamonds. Same trusted service for over 50 years. Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry at 15th Street and East Avenue. Coin and Bullion Reserves is now Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry, a new name that reflects what we do best, fine jewelry and diamonds. Same trusted service for over 50 years. Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry at 15th Street and East Avenue.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Ask for special ESPN Northwest Florida pricing.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the Big East.
Zips baseline. The reverse layup goes as he hits the deck. That was a wild shot for his first field goal. Tough reverse layup.
As the fourth-ranked Connecticut Huskies travel to Milwaukee to take on the Marquette Golden Eagles.
UConn and Marquette. Coverage starts Saturday morning at 10:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is the Sports Blitz, where we don't have guests. We have punching bags. The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. It's Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest was happening. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even try, you can't stop. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share. Right now.
We are live and local right here in Panama City Beach. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, your spot for college basketball right here in the Panhandle. Don't forget tonight, the Gators take on Mississippi State. Coverage starts at 6:30. We are pumped up and ready to go. And as always, on a Tuesday, got Jeffrey in the building, got Bone Crusher here, and special guest on the Red 7 Tees phone line. We have two-time NBA champ with the Chicago Bulls, my friend Jason Caffey. Jason, how you doing today, my friend?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing fine.
Well, it's so good to have you. Glad we finally got our schedules lined up to get you on. And, Jason, having been from Mobile and being able to watch you and watch your career, just, was great to see you out there playing all those years. And, the big thing that I enjoyed, and I was telling Jeffrey earlier, is that with your play, you signed some nice size contracts, and that's what I was proud of you about, being able to do that for you and your family, and coming out of Davidson High School over there in Mobile. So with that being said, obviously you played with what most people call the GOAT. Do you think he's the GOAT?
There's no question in my mind that Michael Jordan is the best player to ever lace up a parachute.
And that's refreshing, because there's a lot of people that I've talked to. A lot of younger guys are still, in the LeBron era. But with that being said, we know when you put on the film, you can see the difference. So, Jason, as far as your life right now, obviously after basketball, what are some of the things that you're doing? Because I know you're making a huge impact in the communities, and you're doing a lot of stuff for people, and really just reaching out and showing love to all sorts of people. Give the listeners what you're doing now post your NBA career.
Well, recently I decided to finish up something that I couldn't finish at the University of Alabama because I was too focused on basketball at the time and trying to go professional, which was to acquire a college degree. So at the age of 48, I decided to enroll back in college at Alabama State University. I recently graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree, and I took about one semester off, and I'm re-enrolled in school right now, and I'm pursuing a Master's of Applied Science here at Alabama State. So I'm living in Montgomery, and that's what I'm doing right now as far as the education goes towards myself.
Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. That's pretty awesome. And I know that, like, as we follow you online and stuff, we see that you are doing stuff for kids. What are some of the things that you're doing outside of your education right now?
Well, what I love to do is, obviously coaching would come naturally for me, but it's just not my passion. The kids on basketball teams usually come from good homes. They have at least one sturdy parent in the house. These at-risk youth are the ones that I like to work with the best because they don't have the same opportunities. So what I try to do is I understand that all of them won't follow a traditional college path. So what I do is, while I'm going to college, I go out and I take epoxy classes. I learn how to do brick masonry. I might take a CDL class because guess what? I want to pass this education on to these kids because it's a quicker way of them getting to money. They're not boggled down with all of the college fees that it costs to gain a degree from going to a 4-year university. So I've kind of gone back to the basics with that with the youth.
Well, that sounds really good. I mean, when you look at how someone of your stature affects, them, and when because are you 6'8", 6'9"? Where are you standing now?
Yeah, I'm 6'8".
Okay, all right. And when you ever come to Panama City Beach, I want you to come in studio. So, because Jeffrey always, my co-host here, he always talks about how he's 6'4", or 6'3", or whatever. I like to josh him a little bit. Let me just say this. During your NBA career, you obviously got to play with Michael, and as soon as I told, put it out there that you were coming on, a lot of people started reaching out and was asking about, tell him to tell us some funny stories, or tell him to tell us some stories about playing with Michael, or give us a little bit of a synopsis about what it was like practicing with Michael, playing with Michael, and winning games, winning championships with Michael.
Oh man, it was tough, but I loved it because I came from a tough program at the University of Alabama under Wimp Sanders and some of those strength coaches over there. I was kind of prepared for it. So coming into a situation with Mike, you got to understand he's the most intense guy that you ever want to meet on a basketball court. There's no BS with him, not any time ever. He's not playing around. It's serious business. We're in there for an hour and a half at the max because I think we were the oldest team at the time in the league. So you didn't want to keep those older guys on the floor all day in practice. We get in, we get out. Practice was tougher than the games for us because practice was so intense. Michael believed that if we practiced to the fullest every day, wide open, that the game would simply be a rollover of practice. And it was. And that's why we won so many games. Of course, him being the lead, Scotty being the lead, Dennis Rodman and some of the other coaches, all Hall of Famers. We had a great staff. So it was just a wonderful experience for somebody who wanted to work hard.
So when you started playing with them and then you got the opportunity to play, you know, a lot of people have watched the Netflix stuff about that team and about those Last Dance and all of that. When did you feel like Michael started trusting you more as a player? Because, you know, there's a lot of times where, you know, it's been heard or said that, you know, if Michael didn't trust you, he wasn't going to give you the ball. When did you start feeling like, man, he trusts me because you're starting to get the ball more? Because you were the guy that scored after Dennis Rodman as far as at that forward position, because, you know, Rodman was there mainly for the defense and the rebounds. I mean, he would score some, but you would put in a lot of points there when you would get in when Rodman would come out.
Being a finisher at the basket, you're going to love playing with Michael Jordan, simply because he's going to drive and he's going to draw all the attention. And I know he can elevate 40, 45 inches off the ground and dunk on a lot of people, but a lot of times he couldn't do that. And it would be just simple for him to drop the ball off to me and finish. So he trusted me, I think, because I was already 2 feet away from the basket. Otherwise, Michael is one of the most selfish guys you ever want to play with. He's not going to pass that basketball. He actually wants that shot. He wants every last shot. And that's why I consider him the GOAT, because I love LeBron. Not to take anything away from him, but you'll see him in crunch time. He's going to make the correct play and pass that ball to the next guy if somebody's on him, and pass it to somebody that's open. Mm-hmm. Now, that guy might not be a Hall of Famer or whatever, and 9 times out of 10, he ends up missing the shot. So now you're ticked off at LeBron because he didn't take the shot. Well, you didn't have to worry about that with Michael Jordan. He's not going to pass it.
Yeah.
He's going to take that shot.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Well, okay, so you're like a decade younger than Jordan, right?
Right.
And then the same thing with pretty much Rodman almost. It's almost a decade. And then Pippen's a little bit closer to your age and everything. Pippen's probably where the stories are at, I'm sure. Did when you first got in the league and they were so much older and everything and they had established themselves, were you ever in awe when you first got there?
I was in awe from day one. I still remember the first time, walking through the Roberto Center, which is where we practiced at in Deerfield, and seeing Michael. I didn't say anything to him. He didn't say anything to me, but that same story that Dave Chappelle tells about Rick James having that aura around his body, and hey, that's what I saw with Michael. This man just kind of glowed the way he walked. He just kind of eased across the floor. It was amazing to see that man.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, there's all kinds. There's so many nicknames that he's gotten. I mean, and a lot of the guys that I've listened to are what they call him Black Jesus, because he's like he walked on water. He couldn't do any wrong. Let me ask you this. Obviously, with you playing with Michael and those guys, and I'm sure you get a lot of questions about it. And our listeners, they're chiming in, wanting to know. As far as like playing with Dennis Rodman and you were his primary backup to come in, how was it playing with him? Because he had won championships with the Pistons, and then, obviously he come in and did his thing with the Bulls, and they kind of let us know on The Last Dance of how he got away with stuff with Phil and that kind of stuff. How was Dennis as a teammate?
Dennis was a great teammate. And the things that he did with Phil was a mastermind. He knew how to control Dennis. Mm-hmm. And I've said this in the past. He controlled Dennis by not attempting to control Dennis. Mm. He knew how to give him leeway and give him a little time off to defuse and come back. And whenever Dennis came back, you knew you were going to get your 18, 19 rebounds. He was going to play defense on their toughest offensive player. He was going to give you everything. So I love playing with Dennis Rodman.
Did you learn how the ball would, I know he's talked about how the ball would come off the backboard or come off the rim or off another player and everything. Did he ever tell you that back in the 90s?
Oh, he's got more tricks of the trade than that. Dennis Rodman, if you try to block Dennis Rodman out, he's got so many techniques. He will lock your arm behind your back. And if you've ever been put in the full Nelson before, that's what Dennis used to do to players. So imagine trying to jump if you're in the full Nelson. He's got one of your arms lodged up behind your back. That was one of his techniques to rebounding. He had so many different ones, it was ridiculous.
So the other day, I know that for the Topps Rip Night, you were asked to go to one of their card shops, and I was able to watch the video. Would you mind if it would be okay if you told the story that you told at one of the at the card shop? If you wouldn't mind telling our listeners so that they could hear it about swimming.
Okay, yeah, sure. So. Being from Mobile, that's the Bay Area. Swimming was something that, our parents preached just because we were from around water. So I learned to swim really good at a young age. And in fact, I'm probably a better swimmer than I am a basketball player.
Nice.
So when I got to Chicago, we had a swimming pool in the Roberto Center. And nobody ever used the pool. And I always thought of swimming as good recovery from physical basketball. So I asked Steve Kerr one day, Steve, why does nobody ever get in the pool? They're ashamed, they're embarrassed to get in the pool because Michael doesn't know how to swim and they don't want to take him off. So I start swimming every day, and I see Michael and Scotty walking by the pool one day, and they're pointing at me like, look at that black kid in there swimming. It's just like, yeah, they weren't accustomed to seeing, other African Americans swim. So it was funny to me. And I was like, hey, this is the one thing I can do better than you guys. At least I can swim. And they always would just laugh about it. But, yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I heard you tell that story, and I had to. Now, Jason, we've got a couple minutes here left before our break. And I don't know if you remember this, because I played basketball for Shellwood over at Bishop with one of your friends, Chad Rogers. Me and Chad are good friends, still stay in touch today. But after college basketball, whenever I finished over at Bishop, I became a police officer in Mobile. And one night, over off of Dolphin Street, I went over to a 7-Eleven to get me something to drink. Yeah, when they still had 7-Elevens. I don't think they still have them anymore in Mobile, but I haven't been over there in a while. But you were there, and you had driven up, and I'm not sure if you were, and you can correct me on this story because I know you don't remember it. But you either had an Escalade or a Tahoe or a Suburban or something, and it was later in the night. It wasn't too late, but I stopped to go get something to drink, and you pulled up, and you were by yourself, and you were getting ready to get out of your vehicle and to get something to drink. And I said, hey, Jason Caffey, how you doing? And you were the nicest guy to me. And, I'm 48 now, and that's been over 20 years ago. And you were just down to earth, nice. Here you are, a professional basketball player. You could have just, obviously you don't want me to take you to jail. But you were just so nice, and I never forgot that. And so I did want to say that story. I doubt you remember it, but I do remember that story. That's where I was like, man, when anybody would talk about the Bulls, I would be like, yep, I'm a personal friend of Jason Caffey, because me and him, we went and got a drink at this 7-Eleven one time in Mobile. So I did want to tell you that. But with all that being said, let me ask you this. With the state of the NBA right now, from when you used to play until now, do you like the new way of the basketball rules, of the Euro steps and the step backs like that James Harden does? Some of the stuff that's, they're talking about possibly could be traveling, that kind of thing. Do you like the way basketball has evolved?
I was just about to ask you, are you speaking of all the traveling?
Yes.
So let me say this about sports and anything in life. With everything, there's evolution. And the NBA has evolved. And that's what it's evolved to. And if you're a true fan of the sport, which I am, you'll continue to watch it. You might not be as intrigued as you were during Michael, Bird's, or Magic's era, or Charles Barkley. But you still like to watch the athletes go up and down. And, I mean, they're getting up and down at a ridiculous pace. The amount of shots that they're getting up. I like to see the athletes go up and down. I really do.
Let me ask you this, and this will probably be the final question before we have to go to a break. Who was the strongest person in the paint you ever played against? Because, you know, those shoulders of Charles Barkley's, you know, all those guys. I mean, who was the strongest person when you knew that you were going to have to get in the paint with him? Who was one of those guys?
Okay, there are several, and I'll start with Karl Malone. Freak of nature when it comes to strength in the weight room and on the floor. Shaquille O'Neal, because of his size. When he moves, you got to move. He's just such a huge man. You can't do anything with that. And our homeboy, Charles Barkley, 6'4", but as wide as a Mack truck. And you just couldn't stop that guy.
Well, I'll tell you this, the eras now have changed, the rules have changed, and, they talk about when they use the GOAT instances and all of that, they sometimes call, you guys plumbers, and I know that, as well as you do, it's a different game now, and do you believe that you played on the greatest team ever assembled in the NBA?
I truly feel that way. Based off the number of Hall of Famers, based off the wins, based off the championships. Yeah, there are teams out there like Golden State who won one more game than we won, but did they win the championship?
Right.
They did. All of that, goes into the conversation when you're talking about the greatest. The greatest wins it all, and we won it all. So.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it, and obviously I'm partial to you and to the era for sure. But, Jason, we sure do appreciate you coming on and taking your time out of your schedule, and congratulations on your degree, and I'm sure you're going to go and attack that master's and have that, and all your endeavors that you do. We appreciate it, and maybe when the NBA gets into playoff time, maybe we can call you and you give us your opinion on who's going to win it.
You can call me anytime you like, my friend. I'll be happy to come back on your show and talk basketball.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The great Jason Caffey, everybody. We appreciate it, my friend. We will talk to you soon. And when we come back, we will talk a little bit about some things going on in the NFL right now. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Touchstone service. The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
The people that had their pets in strollers. Your pet is not the same thing as my baby in my stroller. Just because you have what you think is a cute dog, it should not be treated the same as my baby in the stroller. I have a human baby. You have a pet baby. Those are not the same. I'm sorry.
Evan Canty and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Clear tonight with a light breeze coming out of the east at 7 miles per hour and temps near 61. Tomorrow morning we will have sunshine and be very warm at 72. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening at a high 74. Slight fog in the morning followed by mostly sunshine Thursday with a temp of 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results.
Hi, this is Todd from PCB Hobby on Back Beach. Advertising with ESPN Northwest Florida has been a wonderful experience. Their staff is very knowledgeable and friendly. If you want to talk with customers like you never thought possible, reach out to the team at ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dumps it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
It's the Florida Gators and the Mississippi State Bulldogs tonight. Tip-off at 7
on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You've got the games, but we've got the breakdown.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
Hot takes, cold truths, and the takedowns that get everyone talking. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Then you're going to run into a big problem.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. Don't forget tonight, Florida, Mississippi State coverage starts at 6:30. So right after the show. And also, don't forget the prize pack. $25 Lone Star Bowl House gift card, $25 That Boot Store gift card, 30 days at Anytime Fitness, and a 12-pack of your choice, and the Golden Season hardcover book for the Florida Gators. We're going to take caller number
7. Lucky number 7.
Right now, 850-215-6290. We are starting that right now. If you want to get your 25, they've got the crawfish coming, boiling, boot store. Who needs a good pair of boots? You get a 30-day Anytime Fitness, 12-pack of your favorite beverage, and the Golden Season by Franz Beard, talking about the magical national championship from last year of the Florida Gators. Call 850-215-6290 on there. Now, one thing to note about tonight's game that's disappointing for the Florida Gators is that Tommy Haw is not going to be able to play. It's his last home game of his year. So I mean, that's a big deal. That's a serious deal. So it's disappointing. Gators are going to win tonight, though. Don't
Is
forget.
he going to go pro?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's going to go pro for sure.
So that is definitely disappointing because the last home game.
Yeah, your last home game. Do you think for those guys that make it to the NBA that get drafted, that kind of stuff matters now or later in life?
Well, it will matter later more than it does right now. Sometimes they don't know that they're living in the moment, and things are happening and things are coming to an end, a change. Yeah. But I mean, I'm a big nostalgia person.
Yeah,
I love that. But yeah, sometimes it hits you after it's over with. You ever seen players like on the field or on the court after the game, and it's like they can't even fathom that it's everything's over with.
Yeah. Do you have any of those moments? Do you remember anything? Is there anything you remember?
I mean,
did you play high school sports or no?
I actually quit when I was a freshman, and I don't know. The football, look, People who are hungry are usually better at sports. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the fact that I didn't have to struggle in my early, years and everything, it kind of killed down my hunger a little bit. Even though I was very competitive, I did not like to lose. I just, I don't know. I just didn't have the edge that it was needed,
So you just decided to stop playing?
I saw how much work football was going to be.
Okay. Well, do we have him on the line? We've got Nick on the line on the Red 7T's phone line. Nick, you are our winner. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks so much.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, well, you know what? You get a Lone Star Bowl House gift card, $25. They've got, do you like crawfish?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Who doesn't?
Exactly. Well, you got that. That boot store gift card, you got to, are you physically fit or do you need to go 30 days for this Anytime Fitness?
I may need to go to that 30 days. Especially after those crawfish.
That's right. And then we're going to not only, that's what we do. That's what we do. We fill you up with food. We get you eating all unhealthy. Then we give you a 12-pack of soda as well to let you drink it. And then we get you over to the 30 days at Anytime Fitness. That's how we do it.
I hope he's not wearing boots working out.
But also, are you who do you pull for in college?
I'm a UF grad.
Oh,
there you go. So the book that we're going to give as well is the Golden Season from last year's Florida Gator Championship, hoping that they'll win another one. But this book is so in depth with every game. Franz Beard is a guy that is he is tuned in. He's leaving actually in the next couple of days to go over to the SEC tournament to get ready for that. He's a big Florida Gator guy. So you'll enjoy the book. So Nick, we're going to do it the old school way. What gives the greatest prizes in the Panhandle?
Absolutely. ESPN, the Blitz, 104.3.
All right. Thank you so much, Nick. And stay on the phone. Bone Crusher's going to get some information from you and take care of all that for you. Thank you so much for calling, buddy.
Man. Thank you.
You know, Jeff, when we were talking before that, we were talking about the last game. There was two games that I remember the most. And growing up, we all played baseball. We didn't have travel ball at the time. We played Little League baseball. It was Dixie Youth is what they called ours. And then we turned over to Babe Ruth. And we all played against each other, with each other, all the way through. All of my friends growing up that we went to high school together, and we all ended up playing high school baseball together. And we had a good team. We were a team that always won the district, always won, the region area of Mobile. I felt like we were the best team in Mobile. We were. And, we would go to the playoffs, and we had aspirations to win the state championship. And we had a couple of players that would go on and play college baseball and that kind of deal. So it was a good deal. And I remember losing. I almost hit one out that day. That was I hit it to the warning track, so that old joke about having warning track power. I had warning track power, but not really. I was a leadoff guy. But I just remember playing against a school in Prattville, Alabama. They beat us in extra innings. I think we lost 3-2. And I remember sitting, 18-year-old boy sitting in the outfield with all my friends that I grew up playing baseball with, and just basically crying like a baby.
Wow.
I mean, that was something we all had kind of talked about, kind of had in our minds, that what we were trying to do, that we were going to win a state championship in baseball. And from the day that we got old enough to go watch the high school team play and start following them, and one of our teams had went all the way to the final and ended up losing, but we had all went and watched and watched them play and cheered for them and all that, and we all kind of just like, that was going to be us. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make it deep into the playoffs, and we did make it deep, but we didn't make it to the final. We were in the semifinal. But I do remember that, talking about last games. That game was like, I was just crying. I mean, I just, and I'd already signed a basketball scholarship. So I knew I was going to be playing college basketball at the next level. And, I knew that. So it wasn't like, but it was just like, I remember my last game playing baseball. I did get offered to play baseball at the college I played basketball at, but I just chose not to. I should have, but I just didn't. If I could do it over again, I would. And then the other game that I remember is my last college basketball game. We were in the...
now you played 2 years?
2 years at junior college, just like what Coach Blue was talking about. And we had went to the where they're going, the regional, where they were going. So if you win, you get to go to Kansas, and it's the same spot. Yeah. I remember when he said Hutchinson, Kansas, that's where we were going to. They must host that every year because I remember that as being where we were going to go. And, we had aspirations to go as well. And we just came up one game short. It's the same thing. Yeah. We were like, so I'm like the GOAT of semifinal games because that's all I ever made it to, a semifinal. But I remember there, now I didn't cry uncontrollably like I did as an 18-year-old senior, but I was definitely dropping tears. Tears were falling from my eyes. Some of the guys in there were hugging and we were just like, man, this is it. For this team, because there were, some of us were getting recruited to go, and there were some freshmen that, that they were there. They had a next year to play, but, we were all getting ready to go play at the next level, and a lot of us had the opportunity. But so I remember those two games as being my last games. So that was just like crazy. How did we get on that anyway?
I don't know. Just the whole, I don't know, sports period. I mean, because we're coming to the end of the college basketball season.
Tommy Hall. That's what we come to because we talked about Tommy Hall.
Everybody's pretty much got 2 games left.
Yeah, so I would say he's going to make it into the NBA probably. He's going to get drafted probably. And he'll remember, his last game at Florida.
So he's just out with injury right now?
Yeah, he's just out with an injury.
Well, it's smart to sit him. And then the follow-up, they have to go at Kentucky on Saturday at 3:00.
Yeah.
And that's, Kentucky's blue blood,
It should be a good game. Before we came on, like 10 minutes before we came on, it was breaking news that the Arizona Cardinals have informed Kyler Murray that they intend to release him on the first day of the league year, next Wednesday, barring a trade between now and then, sources tell ESPN's Adam Schefter. So there you go.
Yeah.
He's already been told. I don't think Tua's been told yet. He's talked to management. They haven't said. Hearing that about Kyler Murray kind of goes into what we talked about a little bit yesterday. What do you think about Arizona kind of coming out and saying that and making that known right now?
Got to move on. Got to make the party.
Do you think it's more that they're letting people know that he's available for trade to kind of try to get this whole thing going with the trade?
He's definitely in the conversation, but the problem is that price tag. That's what's going to hurt them as far as the trade goes. Because we know 90% of these guys that they announce like that, a trade does not happen. They just get released.
Yeah. Do you think he's still got value in the league?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's the next Cleveland Browns starter.
What? You think so?
You were thinking Raiders and Dolphins, weren't you?
Nope, I was thinking Minnesota.
Okay. I don't think he's good enough to get on the Vikings.
So do you think the Vikings would, absorb some of that contract to take him for value? Because Kyler Murray, he can throw the ball. He can still sling it.
Yeah.
He's got wheels, but what's his MO? He gets hurt every year.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm going to call out Browns.
You think the Browns?
I think the Browns are going for him.
Well, so what about Shadur Sanders? Do you think he goes there as a starter? Do you think he goes there as the backup? Do you think he goes there to battle?
This is just like the Florida Gators. It's a competition. Show me what you got.
Really?
Absolutely.
They're going to absorb some. That'd be the worst thing you could ever do.
No. He's going to be released, next Wednesday?
Yeah.
And the Browns are going to go and negotiate for Kyler Murray to be on their team.
But let me ask you this. Did you not hear that sources are saying that Deshaun Watson will be ready for spring camp? I am not kidding you. Deshaun Watson, it has been reported that he will be ready to play quarterback in the National Football League.
The Browns. That's just insane.
So what do you think? Do you think so no on the Browns now because Deshaun Watson's going to be the starter?
I mean, now you got almost like 4 players because Flacco's gone.
Flacco's gone. You got Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders, Deshaun Watson. Those 3 right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's a full room then. No, that's probably not going to happen then if Deshaun Watson's back.
You don't think so?
It's going to be interesting how rusty Deshaun Watson is.
So,
because I mean, at least Michael Vick went into jail and could pump weights.
Yeah, but I'm just, I don't know. All right. So the next thing that broke right before we come on the air, the Colts are pitching to the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. The transition tag is $37.83 million more than the $6 million cheaper than the quarterback franchise tag, but gives Jones the opportunity to sign an offer sheet with another team.
But they have to match.
That Indianapolis would then have the right to match.
Wow, that's a money game right there.
So do you think they're saying, we're going to give you the opportunity to go out there and see how much you think your value is, and then we'll pay you based off of what they say?
Yeah.
Do you think they're keeping him? Do you think that's the whole thing along?
Yeah,
you think they're keeping him? They're not moving off of him? They're not going another direction?
No.
You don't think they'll go in the draft and get somebody like Carson Beck or something like that?
Sure, but does that mean it's your starter? No, it does not.
So you think starting the NFL season next year, you're going to call it right now that the Indianapolis Colts starting quarterback is going to be Daniel Jones?
Sure, absolutely.
Is he going to burn it up like he did last year, or is he going to go back to the Giants' way of playing?
I mean, I always think about that Texans defense. That's what I hate about being in that division. You know, that Texans defense is stout. No, I think he's going to have, good games and bad games. I don't think he's all that. You were high on him.
And he did great.
But he's a starter in the NFL.
But he
deserves that.
Yeah, he did great, though. I mean, it wasn't just me being. He was at the top. Yeah, they won football games when he was healthy. Yeah. And I think when you look at it, if they can keep him healthy, they will do some damage next year if they can still run the ball. Because if you look at how these guys are able to run the football in the National Football League, that team is usually the ones that are doing well. Look at what the Seattle Seahawks were able to do with their running back. Look at with Walker. Look at what the year before, what they were able to do with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley wasn't, but I think he was 10th in rushing this year compared to 1st in rushing the year before. And what they do, they won the Super Bowl because of it. So if Jonathan Taylor can run the football for Indianapolis again and have a good season, but they got to keep Danny Dimes healthy.
So let's just go ahead and say it. Carson Beck is not going to be a Colt. They just booed him in Indianapolis.
They don't listen. They don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to the fans. They want to sell
jerseys.
No, they don't listen to the fans. They want to get Carson Beck in Indianapolis. That's what I think. That's who I want going there. I want Carson Beck to battle Daniel Jones for the starting quarterback.
What do you think about Carson Beck back in Miami with the Dolphins?
You want that.
That's crazy.
You want that. I think you do. I think I see it in your mind. And Bone Crusher wants him to go to Atlanta. So either way, when we come back, we will discuss a little bit more of some things that's breaking. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 17 studio line is now open.
I think this entire audience is on medication.
850-215-6290.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
We talked a little bit about the Alabama thing the other day. I disagree with Jeff. I think they should be penalized. Those games that kid played, they should be forfeited. I'm sorry. You were a G League player and come back to school. That's just not right. We can't do that. That'd be like Peyton Manning coming back to Tennessee for 6 years,
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The
Discover the new Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive the all-new 2026 Kia, where comfort, safety, and technology come together like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
Got a scratch, dent, or full-blown wreck? Bring it to Recommended Collision Center in Panama City. From small scratches to all-over paint jobs, from fender benders to major collisions, it's Recommended Collision Center. They work with all insurance companies and offer customer pay options too. A family-owned collision center that takes pride in top-quality repairs, friendly service, quick drop-offs, and a fast turnaround. So when life throws you a wreck, they'll help you get amended. Recommended Collision Center, 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City.
The Gator Boys are back. Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and wide. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dumps it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
It's the Florida Gators and the Mississippi State Bulldogs tonight. Tip-off at 7.
On 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And the Georgia damn Bulldogs, baby.
Now back to Herschel Walker, Texas Ranger.
For you are now the original Gator hater.
It's the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Herschel Walker and the Georgia damn Bulldogs.
104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Your spot for Florida Gator basketball. Don't forget, they play the 13-16 Mississippi State Bulldogs tonight at 6:30. You can listen right here, right after the show. I don't see the Gators slowing down any tonight. Do you think the game on Saturday against Kentucky at 3 o'clock is probably going to be their toughest game before the tournament?
Well, yeah. Obviously, they play Mississippi State.
I know. That was a trick question to get more than last segment. I asked you a bunch of questions, and all I got was yeah. You're the man of yeah. Like, give me some more substance of what you're talking about. So, do you believe in the Florida Gators winning the SEC championship in basketball?
Yes. The tournament, yes.
So, what do you think about
who do you think the fourth one seed?
Who do you think they're going to be? Their biggest challenge in the SEC tournament, because obviously they just beat the brakes off of Arkansas. Yeah. They've got Kentucky on Saturday. Tommy Haas not playing tonight won't matter. They could sub me or you in with 4 of their players off the bench and probably beat Mississippi State tonight. So what do you think is going to be their toughest game in the SEC tournament coming soon?
I think Tennessee is going to give them a challenge in the semis, and then Florida's just going to kick somebody's butt in the final.
So you don't see Alabama giving them any kind of trouble if they get to the final, or if they play. They'll probably be on the opposite ends, because I think Alabama is the 2.
Yeah, Alabama and Arkansas are probably going to be the 2 and the 3, so they'll be on one side. And then Tennessee and possibly Missouri would be the 4 and the 5, and they'll be stuck with the Gators. And then I think it's going to be Tennessee is going to beat Missouri or Kentucky, whoever's the 5 seed, and then Tennessee will give Florida a run for their money, but then the final is just going to be a runaway because the Florida's that good.
So let me ask you this. Is it kind of like you kind of need a loss before you get into the tournament, the big tournament? Because if they're on a 9-game winning streak, if they beat Mississippi State, that's 10, which they are.
Yeah.
They beat Kentucky, that's 11. And then
you play an 8 or 9 seed in the first round. Okay, so that's 12. Go ahead and drop against a 4 or 5 seed. What is it going to hurt you? You're going to be the 2 seed in the NCAA tournament? Possibly.
You're going to be the 2 anyway.
No. They run that SEC tournament and do it in impressive fashion. They got a 1 seed on their hand.
Opportunity. I don't think they get it. I just don't.
Are you going to stick 2 Big 12 teams in? And the 1 seeds?
Who do they got?
So we're talking about Arizona and Houston. Kansas is officially out. Texas Tech is in the running, I guess. I don't see 2 Big 12 teams getting 1 seeds.
Well, I mean,
I don't think I've been alive ever where that's happened.
So Florida is the number 5 right now. So you got Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and UConn.
UConn, yeah.
So
UConn's on a big 3-game win streak.
So if they win out, though,
what do you do?
If UConn wins out, Michigan wins out, Arizona wins out, and Duke wins out,
UConn's the one on the outside.
You don't think because they're going to give Florida the nod for the number 1
over UConn? Yeah.
So,
but that would be I wouldn't be surprised though if Florida gets the 1 seed that UConn will be the 2 seed in their own regional, like either East or Southeast region.
I think I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I might be totally wrong. They play UK at UK.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, Rupp Arena.
Yeah, they're playing at Rupp.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that that's going to be their toughest game of the next 5.
Because Kentucky's going to be really showing an effort.
Yeah.
Because they need
a higher because Kentucky, they're going to make the tournament, but now matters what they look like because they don't want to get, what do we always say, what seed to always stay away from?
Oh, the 5 plays a 12? Yeah, you don't want to be a 5.
And you don't want to be a 6 either, I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think you want to be a 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a 11, somewhere around there. So, but I think...
So currently, right now, there's 2 games being played right now in the SEC. And Tennessee is taking South Carolina to school. Of course, South Carolina's the bottom team in the SEC.
Yeah.
But at least Tennessee's getting back because they just lost to Bama in a close one, right? Mm-hmm. And Bama and Georgia are in a battle right now. And Georgia is at 8-8 in the conference. And that's a must-win for them because they're a bubble team.
Yeah, if they can win that game against Alabama, that'll be a resume builder. So, as far as to me though, I look at Iowa State, I look at Houston, I look at Michigan State, I look at Nebraska, and then I look at Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Like that's your 6 through 10 right there.
Yeah.
Texas Tech lost their best player. I don't see any of those teams really making a big run. I just don't. I could see Illinois, Virginia, Kansas, Purdue, and then I'm just going to say it. I could see Alabama making a little bit of a run. Do I think they got enough firepower to win it? No, because they're night and day sometime with their shooting, and that's what's going to probably end up being their demise is the fact that they can't consistently knock down the 3 ball every time. When I say every time, like a consistent basis, they've been a little inconsistent with that. They'll look like $1 million one night, and then the next night they can't throw it in the ocean. So realistically, I think Alabama's got a good shot to come out of the SEC, but outside of Florida, man, I don't see Alabama or Tennessee making a long run.
You're happy with a 5 seed for Bama?
I am very happy with a 5 seed. Yeah.
So you beat a 12 in the first round. You got to play a 4. If you pull that upset, you're looking at a 1 seed.
Yeah, and then that's the thing.
And that's the Sweet 16.
Can Alabama beat a Duke, an Arizona, a Michigan, or a Florida? I think their best shot would be Arizona. I think they match up better with them. I think Michigan is too big. Duke's defense is too good. And I think Florida's defense in the paint's just too good, too.
Yeah.
So it will depend on Alabama's strong in the defense or in the front court. Their guards can play and can score, but they can't stop anybody in the paint.
So maybe it would behoove you all to just be a 6 seed.
Yeah. Well,
it'd help you out.
We got about 5 minutes left, and I had to talk about it today. Today was the first day for them Florida Gators to start practicing under the official coach of the Gators, John Summerall, and he's decided to join us right now on the Red. I'm joking. I had you, though. I had you. You thought Coach John Summerall was going to join us from the swamp practice today, but no, honestly, he's not today. But we will get him.
Well, let's talk about next week. I don't think you really realize how big next week is. Not only do we have Selection Sunday 12 days from now, But 10 days from now, guess what happens in SEC baseball? Conference play.
Yeah, conference
Everybody on Friday the 13th is when LSU will go to Nashville to play Vandy. I don't know who's Bama's opening up with, but everybody will be playing an SEC game on that Friday.
Yeah, I know that, and that's why I'm not going to talk about it until next week. That's when it's going to be a big...
But what about Selection Sunday?
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but I wanted to make sure we said that what they were talking about for this John Summerall-led Gator team. I want you to hear what they said.
Oh, goodness.
The energy was high. Mm-hmm. The sleds were popping. And the tempo was fast. Now, let me tell you how fast. You ready for this? 313-pound true freshman tight end. Now, it's either Hezzy or Hez Kent. First practice today. 313-pound tight end.
Yeah.
And he caught his first pass today for the Florida Gators.
I hope he's tall. I mean, because you're going to have to just throw it up high for him because he's not very fast.
I mean,
313-pound tight end.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's like a sumo wrestler going out in the flat. I hope he's just in the flat.
Well, I mean, he can move, man. I mean, you see it right here.
He's going to move the pile.
He made his first catch today.
Yeah, that's a pretty big kid.
Yeah, so he's tall.
Why tight end?
He's got hands, son.
Well,
he can go up and get it. He can. Have you ever heard Moss?
What's his vertical?
He can Moss. I don't know.
313.
He had never done the NFL Combine yet. He's not ready for it yet. But when he is, we're going to be all eyes. So he's going to be there. But you know, with a new coach like that, when it comes in, and a lot of Florida Gator fans listen, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because everybody's been wondering about the Gators, wondering how it's going to go. And I'm just telling you, the excitement is starting to build. And I know you're not 100% on board yet because you've seen the schedule and you know what it takes to, you're going to have to grind out some games. So with that being said, Are you thinking that the Gators?
Well, I mean, just like last year, you opened up with Long Island. Nobody was respecting that, So this year, Florida Atlantic out of Boca Raton, they're going to just take the travel up to the swamp, right? I'm calling that a W. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Then you got Campbell, nothing. The test is mid-September, you go at Auburn, and that's the pivot game of the year.
Yeah.
Jordan Hare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to beat Ole Miss. You've got to beat Missouri. You got to beat Auburn. You got to win those three big games. You got to beat South Carolina.
But see, that's the showdown is at Auburn because those are the two new coaches that we're all talking about.
And they're undefeated. Both teams are going to be undefeated when they come into that game.
Well, Auburn's got Baylor, I think, at Jordan Hare. So
they're going to be undefeated when they come in.
You're disrespecting Baylor.
I'm disrespecting Baylor, and I'm not disrespecting DJ Lagway.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that I believe that they will both be undefeated, and then whoever wins that could kick them up for the next games to come, and the loser could go into the Bolivian of the SEC.
I thought you were going to say they're going to the Pop-Tart Bowl.
No. I mean, but hey, a bowl's a bowl.
A bowl's a bowl. You're just not in the top 12.
Are you hearing anything about Lane Kiffin outside of just the regular?
No, I'm not hearing anything.
So you're okay
People making plans, though, to go to the games. And I'm going to have to tell you who I'm going to go see.
Yeah, who are you going to see?
Apparently, it's a home game. The whole group has decided that we're going to a home game. We're not going to go to travel. So I don't think it's going to be Clemson, the season opener, but it could be Texas or Texas A&M. We'll have to see.
Which one would you prefer? You want to see Arch. You want to see Arch in there.
No, I want to go on the road. I want to go on the road and go see them play a road game.
See, I want to go to LSU because I've never been to LSU. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you've been to a lot of those games there, so that's why you probably are wanting to go somewhere else. But I mean, it's going to be made for TV when Lane goes back to Oxford. It's probably going to be made for TV when Lane goes to Tennessee. Those two spots are probably the big time games.
Is LSU, is it Baton Rouge, is it because of the tailgating? Or is it just the atmosphere of the stadium?
The stadium, it's going to be at night. They're crazy.
They're rabid fans.
Yeah, it's going to be loud. It's going to be exciting.
I want to see the Vol Navy. I want to go to Tennessee. I want to go to Knoxville.
Yeah.
I've been to the stadium. Outside of it, I saw the river, and I was like, okay, yeah, this looks like it's got the combination. Downtown's right west of it. It's right there.
See, the reason why I don't want to go to Tennessee is because they got a first-year starting quarterback, and there's not going to be a lot of excitement, I think.
No, I think there is going to be excitement because I think that
McIntyre, you know, think he's going to be the guy?
Let me think about this. They're going to be 8-2. Let's say both teams are 8-2. It's a must-win in November.
Great show today. We appreciate you listening. Don't forget the Gators and Mississippi State right after the show. We had a wonderful time. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a good night, everybody.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the Big East.
Zips baseline. What a shot. The reverse layup goes as he hits the deck. That was a wild shot for his first field goal.